Good morning and welcome to the Daily Cyber Briefing for Friday, the 6th of December. I'm Stephen Ridgway. There's a proof of concept exploit chaining Mitel MyCollab 0-day authentication bypass bugs to access sensitive files. Mitel, those of you that are using it will be aware of what it does, but for those that don't, Mitel provides communications, hardware, software solutions. There are a series of flaws in Mitel's solutions, Mitel Collab. MyCollab solutions. It's an enterprise. That particular piece is an enterprise collaboration tool that allows users to communicate using a variety of voice, video, chat, SMS, web conferencing, and file sharing, and so on and so forth. It's commonly used in customer service environments, connecting customer service people with customers. So there has been a vulnerability kicking around since around May of this year. That one, I believe, has been fixed. However, there are various other vulnerabilities, all of which end up being chainable to result in access to the device itself. So Mitel is being a little slow, it appears, on getting these things done. There are allegedly still vulnerabilities that were reported to Mitel over 3 months ago, which are still vulnerable. So if you are using Mitel MyCollab, definitely worth checking to see whether Mitel has in fact produced a patch or a solution for this. In the meantime, good cyber hygiene is probably the best you can do. Things like avoid having the management interface for solutions accessible generally on the internet. Keep that internal, and so on and so forth. Stuff like that. Good security monitoring will also at least give you a heads up if things are going wrong. But yeah, watch out for patches, hopefully coming soon. There is a critical vulnerability that's been discovered in SailPoint Identity IQ. It is an IAM platform, as they say, provides full life cycle and compliance management capabilities, covering provisioning, access requests, certifications, and segregations of duties. There are, however, vulnerabilities in this solution. No indication that the vulnerabilities are being exploited in the wild. However, one of them is a critical issue, CVE 2024-10905, with a CVSS score of 10 out of 10. Yeah, pretty straightforward, complete compromise of everything, including imploding of the universe. The bug is essentially a directory traversal flaw, and it affects all Identity IQ versions up to patch levels 8.4 P2, 8.3 P5, and 8.2 P8. So if you are using that particular solution, recommend that the patches are applied ASAP. Appreciate that may be a little challenging given the nature of IAM solutions, taking them down in order to patch them and bring them back up again. Don't know whether this requires reboots or anything else complicated. But if it does, yes, you have sympathy, but I'm afraid this is one of those ones where engage your emergency patch process and get on with it, I would recommend. Okay, there is a Windows NTLM 0-day vulnerability that is being used to expose user credentials. An article I found in GB Hackers this morning. Critical 0-day vulnerability affecting all modern Windows workstation and server versions. It enables attackers to steal NTLM credentials with minimal user interaction. And it poses a significant security risk to users of systems from Windows 7 and Server 2008 R2 to the latest Windows 11 and Server 2022. Indications are it's a form of pass the hash attack. Once, as you know, obviously, as well, yeah. In fact, actually, people may not really know. You hear the phrase sort of kicked around quite a lot. But what's it actually mean? Well, it basically means that NTLM, after you have authenticated, provides effectively a token by which you can demonstrate to other components or other parts of your environment that you have been successfully authenticated. If that can be intercepted and reused, in this case through a pass the hash attack, you can spoof an already logged in user. So it is quite serious in the sense of what you can do depends then very much on what that user is authorized to do, which can be quite a lot. Yeah, so watch out. It is potentially going to get fixed in Patch Tuesday, which I think is next Tuesday. Yeah, I think it should be next Tuesday. We should see a range of patches. Hopefully they'll catch this one. In the meantime, be aware that this is out there. If you are particularly concerned about this, the GB Hackers article is good and has links out to further information on this particular issue. And then finally, from me today, a bit of somewhat late breaking news that I came across. Unfortunately, the only article I can find on it is on the Telegraph, which has got a paywall, but you'll get the headlines, and I'm sure there will be more information available on other sites soon. However, it appears that at least 9 rail companies have been impacted by an outage in radio systems, which are effectively it's a nationwide fault in the onboard GSM-R radio systems. That particular system allows for communication between the train drivers and the signal operators, or the onboard on the train communications to the I don't know what you call them, the not on board, the stuff from the station's signals, whatever it may be. There is no indication right now that that this is due to a cyber attack. However, it's equally not been ruled out, and this is very early. From the point of view of understanding what's going on, undoubtedly more information will come out. So it appears that the issue was first noticed around 8 o'clock, or somewhat prior to 8 o'clock this morning. So yeah, as I say, very recent. Now, the reason this matters, of course, is that in a modern railway system, communications between signals and trains is absolutely fundamental, and of course is all digital. So there is a limit to what can run on the railways with these particular systems being down. There are contingency plans, which I'm sure will be being put in place, but there is, as I say, a limit to what can be done safely until the system is stood back up again. Now, even if this doesn't turn, if this, because the majority of major outage isn't caused by cyber attack, although increasingly ransomware can have a very significant impact on a lot of systems. But still, the number one the cause of major outage is change or poor change control. You can argue the point if you want to argue the point on that. Drop some messages into comments on this briefing, and we can discuss. However, in my experience, major outages are most often caused by poorly controlled change. So, don't know whether that is the case here, or it could be a cyber incident. You never know. What we do know is that there are nation-state adversaries who have gone to a lot of trouble to gain access to critical national infrastructure with the intention of causing disruption. We are aware, as we've seen over this week, information has become available around the Chinese government giving themselves access to at least US, if not global, communications platforms. This being a communications platform, and the outage coming shortly after Chinese OPTs were discovered all over T-Mobile and various other telcos. So there is the possibility that there is something related there. However, it is, again, I think even if this turns out to be not part of that, it demonstrates how different components of critical national infrastructure are dependent on each other, and that disruption in one can cause disruption in other areas. I personally don't feel like, as a nation, as a state, we take this stuff seriously enough. It is relatively it is relatively easy to cause major disruption by things like stopping the trains from running, or preventing telecoms. And you can stop trains from running by knocking out telecommunications. You don't have to knock out the trains. You see what I mean? Breaking news. The Southwest Rails is telling passengers to book taxis. Because they're unable to run trains at the moment. So this sort of thing has a major impact. So if you are working in the industry, if you are part of the transport arena, be aware that this stuff is going on, if you are supporting any organisations from a cyber perspective in this arena, good luck. Hope things go well. Hope this all gets sorted out quickly. Right, that's enough waffle from me for one day. Hope you have a good end to the week.